Wow, there's a lot of people here. You know what? Hey, let me start my video first. Turkey, welcome back. All right, okay. Yeah, I see. Some of you were in my 2A also, so I can recognize some of you. And well, you know what? Strangely, I thought there weren't going to be a lot of people here because a lot of people had a problem with this time, right? So everybody wanted a different time. So first of all, so thank you so much for, well, I'll give you some time to turn on your cameras. Thank you so much for making these meetings, right? Madison, yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, quite a few people who were in my class. That's great. And you know, people who were in my class essentially get a little bit of a freebie, I think, in the first week, right? Because you actually get extra credit for all of the blue quests. Now, I think, you know, I was thinking for a long time about these things, and I kind of figured, this is my preliminary hypothesis, that, you know, in fact, I don't even have to run a sophisticated model, right? Very simple models for me seem to predict with a very high degree of certainty that the highest success rate predictor in 2B is actually the maximum quest completed in 2A. In fact, it's not even the maximum quest, right? So I haven't gotten enough data to make that call. But I do know that whether the person completed Q9, blue quest 9 or not, is a significant predictor. But, you know, I don't have more data than, you know, to go down to which quest is a predictor. So hopefully, you know, with more data coming in and you guys self-reporting these things, we can run a better model for future students. But bottom line is that I think from the trend that I'm seeing from next quarter onwards, because some of you who have all the basic knowledge about pointers and manipulation and things like that already coming into the class, I kind of figured that you know, it should be worth something, right? It shouldn't be like a freebie because other people are not coming in with that knowledge, and so if you know there's no difference, then that kind of is devalued. Well, it's not devalued in your eyes, but still, I think I figured it might as well make it worth something, right? So for something for other people to shoot for. So from next quarter onwards, it's not in the syllabus, right? I mean, otherwise I would have enforced it even this quarter. So I had to put it in as extra credit because it's not in the syllabus. But from next quarter, I think, and you can pass this information on to all of your friends who are probably not here today. Share this on the forum, okay? Hey, Gerald, Andrew, Rodrigues. So we have two Andrews, right? So I think Andrew Rodrigues and Reynaldo. Yeah, see if you can turn your camera on at some point. That'd be great, yeah. And by the way, it is being, I think it's being recorded. Yeah, it's being recorded. So for the benefit of people who are not here today, what we'll do, you know, after I finish this initial spiel, and by the way, you guys should just feel free to cut me off at any time, okay? Cut me off at any time. Gerald said my camera is on. What's going on? Why is that chat thing? All right, let me maximize.
Sorry, my face cam hasn't arrived, so I'm using my iPad.
That's no, I can see you. No, my chat thing was, or my bubble was, you know, I couldn't get it to go. I couldn't get
PC. Sorry about that.
I couldn't get it to go. But anyway, so where I was going with that, thank you, Gerald. Where I was going with that was you guys should all feel free at any time to just interrupt me at any time, okay? And just say, okay, let's, right? And my goal with these kinds of meetings for 2B is really because I know that, you know, many of you are actually professionals in the field, right? Maybe an expert in some other language and you just want to play around with C++ to just pick up the syntax so that you can bring to bear your CS knowledge that you've already picked up in another language, right? You just want to bring to bear that knowledge using C++, okay? That's, and I think there's a lot of people like that in this class. So I want to be respectful of your time. And so thank you so much, first of all, for coming at these 1 p.m.s. But what I wanted to try and do was essentially, it's okay if the professionals in the field, it's okay if you can't make a meeting, okay? I'm happy with some updates from you. But the reason I had to make this kind of mandatory is not to, right, is to say, well, crack my whip like a teacher, right? Because this is a community college, we have a mix of students, right? We have newbies and students, high schoolers even sometimes, right, who have special clearance and to enroll in college courses. And we have professionals who have life experience and more detailed knowledge of what works and what doesn't work. And so how does this group pick up? Because they're both in the same class. And so the less experienced group must somehow pick up the skills required for success in the field, right? Because it's very easy if you're not out there to very quickly start believing after crafting a couple of homegrown programs, right? Which kind of start looking sophisticated to you because, right? It's very easy to start believing or fall into the illusion that there is no more to be learned and you can figure out everything else, right? And I think the quicker that this illusion is dispelled, the more quickly you can pick up other things that you actually want to do, right? And instead are trying to do the hard way and thinking that is the only way, because there are lots of easy ways to do many things too, right? And the professionals would know these things, right? So I think what I'd like is for very soon, starting from the next meeting, maybe, I'd like if we can basically just have a bunch of breakout rooms. I have never done multiple breakout rooms, right, before, but we'll try this and we'll see how does it record it in Zoom. Well, we'll figure it out, okay? Maybe I'll just hop around from room to room so I can get a summary of what you guys are working on. The idea here is that before we go into the breakout rooms, we'll just have, just like, if you've been in a software engineering role, right, in a team, not a solo role, okay? Because solo roles, I think, so here I think is one of the distinguishing features I've found in someone who can really do a lot of things, right? As opposed to someone who can not really do a lot of things, right? But maybe they're both brilliant, right? Maybe they're both brilliant. But I think what happens is that the person, I may be wrong, but in many of the products I've seen, right, being developed, I don't mean full products. I even mean projects that are sub-products, okay? So what I've found is that if not, people who don't, was I going that? If you're not willing to abandon, right? If you're not willing to abandon your hypothesis, meaning that if you're not open to multiple ways of doing the same thing, they would produce a product or a project and then basically polish it to perfection. Okay, I've seen that so many times. And all of that brilliance is going into removing every single tiny imperfection in their code, right? User experience and so on, adding tiny bells and whistles that only 0.01% of the users would probably even notice, right? But they would see it, and maybe a couple of people that they have in mind may see it and so on, right? But I think what I've found is, and this is my hypothesis, is that they're wed too strongly to the initial notion of the product, okay? And they're just polishing it when there is a whole world out there to be discovered, okay? But the other kind of engineer or builder I have come across is the person who's also equally capable, okay? Equally capable, but for some reason has visibility, right? Beyond the project they're working on. So they can actually see many excellent examples out there, many, not just the one thing they're developing, okay? And they know what they're doing is pretty cool, cool and good too, but there's a lot of these things. And so they don't have that level of intense attachment. Well, they still have an attachment, but it's not so intense, right? So they're more willing to give it up at some point, okay? And say, well, you know what? I've given it my best shot, and I know if these things can be fixed, it'll look perfect. But in order to get those things fixed, it's going to cost me, I don't know, 10 days of time, right? But those 10 days I can work on some other project, okay? But it's still usable. It's not like crap. It's still usable. So that is the attitude, and I don't know when that happens, but sometimes it happens. And when that happens, I feel that engineers become more nimble. Nimble, okay, nimble. So they just jump. They can jump. Not that they willingly jump, right? So I'm not happy here, I'm going to jump. No, not that kind of jump, right? They can basically float. No, I shouldn't say float, right? So they can float between multiple projects, okay? And it's not like they have warm-up time when they enter a project, because when they come into a project, they already know what's going on, right? And they know, oh yeah, okay, let's try that, man. Okay, right? So they'll go on to the next one. Okay, well, you know what? Let me call Jenny there because she had exactly the same idea. I'm sorry. Cindy, you were trying to say something. Hey, where is the feedback coming from? We never had that problem before. So maybe someone's got two microphones on or something. I don't know. Never mind.
It's me because I was using my cell phone and I decided to use my iPad to join the Zoom meeting again, and I didn't realize it's unmuted. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't join with my iPad into, not this two-way meeting. I tried to join with my iPad. I used to be able to do that before, but maybe I need to re-download the Zoom app or something, or a Safari cookie clearing or something like that, because it doesn't do SSO for me anymore. I got to Google to find out if other people are having the same problem. But anyway, but this is being, I'm through the laptop and it's being recorded in the cloud, so we don't have any issues. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. And so I kind of figured that we'll just make it worth 10 points, right? That's your week one quest in 2B is going to be all 9 blue quests, all 9 blue quests in week 1 of 2B, because so one time a student complained saying, well, you know what? In 2A, students take 3 months to do the 9 blue quests, and you're asking us to do entire 2A in 1 week. Is that fair? Right? What do you guys think? I don't know. I think it's fair because by the time you finish Blue Quest 9, the idea is not that it should take you that much time, because as you progress through the quest, it's not only that you've covered ground, but the ground that you already covered, you can cover much faster. Not just linearly. It just, once you finish quest 9, once you finish quest 9 confidently in blue, you should be in a position where you can basically just screen through all of the quests and finish them in 24 days, right? So if someone has something like a Halo speed run here, okay? So you could basically, and you could say, I finished these quests, starting with blue 0 all the way to blue 9. I don't know, 9 hours. Okay, it's a really bad way, really bad way. But who knows, right? If you've already done the quest once, but that should be the speed, I think, right? And you'll find that is speed. And a two-way students think that is probably not going to happen, but they will basically end up surprising themselves, because when you get to Q9, and that's why finish Q9, you'll get credit for that Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, you got 2 more days. Easily, okay? Anybody who's done 2A and actually picked up the 2A knowledge should be able to just screen through that. You got 2 days, 2 whole days starting today, and they're all working days, not even your weekend, okay? So not cutting into your party time. So, so finish that, pick up, and you get credit. And I'm going to make all the 2B quests also mandatory in my 2C. And it doesn't have to be next quarter, okay? I am offering 2C next quarter. So it doesn't matter when you come, right? Maybe you come back 4 or 5 years from now and I'm still teaching, okay? And you can say, well, when at 22, I did the 2B and I completed all 2 9 quests, all 9 green quests. I can just pull it up from the archive and basically just do a quick review. It shouldn't be a problem. You'll actually get credit for it. You don't have to blow through the first week solving all blue and all green. Okay, I don't know. It should be possible, I think, right? But I don't know about green, because when as you'll find out, right? It's a different ball game from blue, because in green you're in cs2a, most of the bugs you chase are bugs you can see. Right? But many times, I say 75% of the bugs in CS2A you can see, or you can kind of figure out, right? Even logic, all right? So even logic errors you can figure out. I think that's where I'm going, okay? So the easiest to fix are syntax errors, okay? Because even a compiler can fix them. You don't even have special intelligence, you can fix them, okay? So the second easiest to fix are logic errors, okay? Because you need some AI or human intelligence to kind of figure out where the logic errors are. Is harder than syntax errors, because a compiler could say, I don't know, man, everything looks fine to me. I'm going to convert it into binary machine code and let the CPU take care of it. Okay, so compiler has no problems, but maybe there's a logic error and it doesn't work. Okay, that's even that's harder, but it is not as hard as one other kind of error, which you'll start encountering in cs2b, right? And that is, I think it is a very hard kind of error. So that is why we try it rather than, so this is a cool thing about scientists, right? Well, not scientists, actually, this is computer scientists, I think. When we know that there's going to be a whole bunch of problems that are going to be hard, right? Proven to be hard and proven not to have any easy solutions, we rather than spend our time trying to find an easy solution, many times we say, okay, at least we know they're going to be hard problems. We won't go in that direction. Okay, so as long as we can, cordon it off, find a perimeter and say we're going to stay on this side, we're actually very happy because we know the limits. And I don't know where I was going with that, but with 2C, with 2C, you'll be dealing with bugs that are structural bugs. Okay, not logic bugs, not syntax bugs, but structural bugs. Even your logic is sound, right? But something that you cannot see is not sound. All right, and what you cannot see is this elaborate structure you've built, right, inside of RAM. It doesn't even have physical presence out there, right? It may have castles and everything. It may be a complete, a 4D VR movie, right? And it's living in virtual space, in bits and bytes, right? And so we can't even see it. And so what happens if you've built something and there is a structural error there, right? Maybe you leverage the physics engine and everything, and some crazy ass thing happens, right? So those kinds of things are really, really hard to find, really, really hard to find. And therefore, we recognize the difficulty there. And I just wanted to pass the tip on. Some of you are professionals and probably know this already, but those of you who are just venturing into, large real development, right? Not hobby scale development at home, but real development, and you'll be interacting with other classmates who are in the field. So this is basically it's I don't know where I was going with that, but that is the difference, I think. What was the difference? By the way, I shouldn't be the only one who's talking, okay? And that's the reason all of you are unmuted. Anyone should just basically just feel free to butt in and start talking, okay? Butt in and start talking. And yeah. What was I saying? I don't know. What was I saying before? I kind of lost my train of thought there. Or I can try and pick it up. Unless you guys want to. And what we can do is at some point. What time is it now? At some point in time, we'll just do the thing that we do in team meetings. Okay, we'll just take. Hopefully this time, I hope that Zoom will do the. Yeah, well, it did it again. Oh, maybe someone joined and then it's two screens. Okay. All right, I'm going to trust you guys to just go. Someone has to have a list and just go in sequence, right? Pick some sequence, okay? Pick some sequence and just take one or two, maybe anytime, anywhere from 5 seconds to a minute, okay? 5 seconds to a minute. Just say, just do a quick. If you want to introduce yourself, that's fine too. That's great. But you can say where you are. If you want, you can talk about Blue Quest. Okay, you can say this is what I'm doing with my Blue Quest. You can say. I'm starting on green, and these are the kinds of issues I'm facing, okay? Don't go into details and don't ask for help or things here. And then I can look at it and say, okay, well, let's form some breakout rooms. And then the people who, among you, who say, I've done this before, right? I've done it before. Then I'll just make sure that you guys are in different breakout rooms, okay? So that you guys can kind of, lead these meetings in the different breakout rooms where people who come into these and I can say, well, let's say Riley is in breakout. How can you name these breakout rooms? I've never done this before, right? So let's say 1, 2, 3, right? So I say, Riley is in room 1, and he's going to be helping people with, removing nodes from a linked list or something like that, okay? Because and everybody who's having a problem with removing nodes can go there, okay? And then somewhere else, Nate is on, something else, okay? So I can basically say, shuffle some guys around, and then I'll be out here. And anytime one of the breakout room leaders feel that they're stuck and they could do with a hand, you could just basically step out. I think that's possible. I'm talking about this as though they're real rooms, but hopefully it's like that, okay? They should just be able to step out and say, hey, can you come into this room, right? And then I can come and look at your problem and we can try and figure something out together, okay? Or maybe I'd say, well, I don't know how to do this. Maybe we can try a completely different approach, right? Because that's also possible, right? So it's all completely free form. And the thing is, I want to make sure that everybody, right, has total freedom and is able to feel completely comfortable with being wrong, okay? Even if you have the right answer, right? So, because, out there in the real world, what people think of is the real world, you have to be right all the time. And so even people who are right all the time, they want to take a break sometimes, right? So why don't you come here and be wrong, okay? Safely wrong, not like wrong and kill yourself. So take chances, right? Take chances and say, well, you know what? I know what the right answer is, but I'm going to propose this really crazy ass answer so we can have a laugh in this breakout room, right? So you can do all these, crazy things. Well, who cares if it's going to be on video, right? So, and maybe, turn that into your advantage, like I told my 2A students, right? So yeah, maybe take that clip later on from that YouTube video and say, hey, here's a short, okay, and TikTok it or something, okay? So, so all these fun opportunities open up, I think, if we can leverage that. So that's basically my take on this, okay? So what we can do is, well, we'll do a quick status report, which I think we'll start with, okay, in future classes, meetings, we'll basically start with, and then we can do the breakout rooms. And if you have any questions, all right, if you have any questions before you all go into breakout rooms, I'm happy to talk about those, okay? The only thing I don't want to be discussed is basically exact code exact code of any kind, really, right? It doesn't have to be Quest code even, right? Maybe a personal project, right? And you shouldn't bring your exact code, but I think if you bring a concept, distill from your personal project, right? And say, well, I'm trying to do this in my personal project, but somehow I'm having a leak, right? So this is the place where I think the leak is happening. Can someone take a look at it, right? And here's, and maybe it's interesting code that's relevant to cs2a, right? Or to b, and say maybe that's a linked list or a tree you're manipulating, right? And then all of your classmates can take a look at it. And that's a fantastic, these are the great golden opportunities that you get by being a student, right? Because students have the right to be wrong, all right? And most of them just fritter away, right? Because, everybody wants to be right and students think we have to be right too. And we just misled down that path. And so they are afraid to take chances and be wrong. So you take practice being wrong, even though you're right and know the right answer, right? That's a really cool way to do it, right? in the breakout rooms and these things, you can say, practice because you want to, you can say, I want to be wrong because being wrong, I can find out what actually happens to the data structure. Yeah, okay, that's as good a reason as any, right? Because you can't do that, right? If you're working at Google and say, well, you know what, I really want to find out what will happen if I just delete the root directory of some important machine, right? So you can't do that kind of thing in a place where so many millions of people are dependent on the service, but you can actually do that here in class, right? What's going to happen? So you can do all those things, and you can actually take your, have your classmates do that with you and say, hey, you know what, guys, I wanted to do this for a long time. Can we try and do this, right? What happens if you keep on allocating lots and lots of memory on this server, which is located half the way across the world in Italy or somewhere, right? So let's try and do this, right? Let's create an endless linked list on this replete server, right? Or cpp.sh server, and see what they do, how they react. Right, so there's things you can do, and these are also safe experiments too, right? You can't do this, 10 years ago, you couldn't have done these experiments, right? Because you think about it, right? Because 10 years ago, no, not 10, 20 years ago, if you did this kind of thing, people will basically just ban you for life and things like that, because you're actually running things on physical machines, and they didn't have good, well, it was possible, right? But many of the implementations out there, right? There's sloppy implementations that they couldn't easily implement these secure fences. Right, so if you go in there and run a C++ program and crash the entire machine, all of those nasty things were possible, right? But these days, nobody cares, right? You go to cpp.sh or one of these places, they're just going to give you a virtual machine anyway, right? And it's going to be a container, and you just take it and you can do whatever you want. You can kill it because when you log out, it's going to be destroyed anyway, right? So you can do anything you want. So those kinds of freedoms never even used to be available 20 years ago, right? So we should basically knock ourselves out, right? So there's nothing wrong we can do, and everything is so cheap and zero cost these days. Okay, and especially since Foothill is paying for so much of, right? Because if you go to the STEM Center, or internet services and even computing services and all these things, there's so many things so many goodies you can get on campus. You don't have to be, right? Even if you're online, I think we have great tutors, right? So if you go to the STEM Tutor Center, you can always ask for some of the people who actually know exactly what's going on with your code and all, right? And they're also trained not to, because Lane Johnson, I think I've got to check with Rosa if he's offering tutorship, if he's offering tutoring this quarter. but he was one of our favorite tutors, right? And in fact, some of our quests, not in 2B, because he came when I was teaching 2C. Some of our quests in 2C have features and changes to the mini quests because Lane Johnson pointed out bugs, right? And so, and in fact, you can see which ones they are and so on, because there's footnotes there. So he knows these things, right, inside out, and he will be able to tell you, right? But he will also be able to not tell you. And I think that, so those are the kinds of people you should look for in the STEM Center also. And because you guys are in the Silicon Valley here, I'm pretty sure, right? One of your close friends or family members, many of them, maybe even, right? They're all in the field, okay? And maybe they've been programming or doing something in, you know, in the industry for who knows how long, okay? So I think you have to agree that, because, you know, honestly, I can stop you, right? So basically you can say to your brother or mom or dad, you know what, I need to get into the school and I need an A+, can you get it for me? And then you can go off and play Fortnite, right? So that's also possible. And so there's no way I can actually come into your home and say, hey, you can't do that. So everything works by honor code, basically meaning that, you know, because I can't police any of these things, I'm not going to police any of these things, because if I police these things, it's going to be, you know, half-ass policing, right? Some of you will get affected and some of you are not going to get affected, right? So it has to be the way that, you know, traditionally education is taught, is that, you know, people who know how to do it, you know, I'll show you how to do it. But I'm not going to force it down your throat, right? So if you want to know how to do it, come and, you know, get it. But, you know, you got to make the time, and that's how I teach, you know, 2A. But hopefully you guys are here of your own time, right? Of your own volition and all. So I think you're super duper interested in this course. And the other thing I wanted to say is that, you know, 2B and 2C are only for people that are really serious about computer science. Okay, so I know that this has happened in the past. When 2A students who got a pass, because, you know, according to the Foothill or any college system, if you think about it, if you clear a prerequisite course, you can go on to the next level course. So if you clear 2A with a C, you can go on to 2B, right? And so on and so forth. But that is not reality, okay? I don't know why that is in place. Maybe that is in place for a good reason that I don't understand yet, okay? Because if you just pass 2A, 2B is not for you, okay? So if you just pass 2A and you're here in 2B to just pick up another piece of paper on your trail to some imagined victory, you should basically drop 2B right now, because you are going to have to do a lot of work in order to do that, get that piece of paper, right? So the better thing is to just make that lot of work a work of passion, which you're going to do anyway, right? And you get the paper as a byproduct. So I think that's the way it should be. And so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but you should not enroll in 2B unless you are really interested in computer science and C++. Okay, so because I'm saying this because I don't want to have any frustration down the line. I'm actually super duper excited, right? Because when I look at the logs of the question system, and I see that, you know, a whole bunch of you have completed quest 9 of Blue, which is fantastic, right? Because it does speak to the fact that you are willing to stick to it, right? So that essentially is what it boils down to, because the determination is what takes you through 2B and 2C, right? And the sooner the people that are not determined enough or read it out, the better the disappointment saved for them will be. Because if they're not told early on that you will not survive up in the mountain without these boots and these jackets where it's, you know, sub-0 degrees and jagged edges, right? So if they're not prepared, they're going to die. Okay, and you know, dying out there in the cold is going to be far more miserable than dying in the comfort of their home. Okay, so essentially that's what we're trying to do. And so, yeah, I don't know how we started talking about that, but essentially I think what I'm trying to say is that 2A knowledge basically buttons things up. And I'm happy that all of you guys, a whole bunch of you, right, have actually finished 2A's all classes of 2A, and I want to make sure that as many of you get the chance as possible. So you are until Wednesday, okay? So if any of you or your friends, all right, some of you are not here today because some of you are on Yeah, hopefully you don't have any Discord or Slack channels that are outside of this, right? So I know there are these channels that people talk about and maybe exchange things too, but don't do that, right? It doesn't help you. I can tell you, it doesn't help you, right? Well, what good does it do to just get a paper at the end of the quarter? Okay, so this is your opportunity to really learn stuff, and so don't go to just be on Reddit and then Canvas maybe and attend these meetings and talk to each other, be in the breakout rooms more, right? And if this works, if I don't have to be present every meeting, I can even have more of these things, right? If you guys are, I can have 4 or 5 of these meetings every week and I don't have to be present, right? Because when I came, you guys were already here. So, we can have a meeting that starts at this time and ends at this time. You guys come, get into breakout rooms. I'm there only once a week. Okay, so that's also possible. So you can, basically everything is possible, right? So you just have to send me an email and say, hey, that's a really cool idea. Let's try it out, right? And if it works, I'll just integrate that into the syllabus, and we do that every quarter. So say, well, since winter 22, when let's say Andrew pointed out that that we could try this, we've been doing this. Okay, so those are really cool things we could do. So is that okay? Do you guys have any questions? Oh my gosh, it's like I've monopolized half an hour of the meeting, so I shouldn't take any more of your time. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to just answer them. After that, we'll just go into your updates, maybe intros and updates if you want, and then.
I have a quick question. Perfect. So on the syllabus, it said that the blue questions were extra credit, and then in the meeting, you said that the first week, the blue questions will be due. When you say the first week, do you mean like this week? So if we didn't,
this week. Okay. Well, this is week 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the end of first week, basically, I meant Monday. Today, but you guys took a poll and then pushed it out to Wednesday.
Okay, so
right, and it's due, meaning due not as regular grade. It's just due for extra credit. Because if you submit after that, you're not getting extra credit, but you still have to do it anyway. So that's the point. So you don't get credit, but you still have to do it because it's the same as your first green quest, and each quest builds onto the next one. So if you've done blue 9, you have essentially done all of the quests leading up to blue 9. And if you do, and there's no way you can do green 1 until you have all the skills needed for blue 9.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're going to do the work, why don't you get the points for it? That was my take on it.
Got it. And we still have till Wednesday to finish blue 9.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, if you are come Wednesday, if you have already reached 9, right? Blue 9. And I've been putting in a reasonable amount of work and trying to work things out. Okay, asking your friends on Reddit and suggesting solutions to things that you've solved, but still haven't gotten the critical mile, right? So and these things, and you say, well, you know what? Give me a little bit more time. Well, what's the big deal, right? So because when you start working on green, it's essentially going to be 99% of this anyway. You're already working on green essentially. So I don't have any problems with giving extensions. The reason for the deadline is really to say, I don't want to get people started on the wrong track, meaning that, someone who's never even started the blue trail and they say, well, you know what, I got until Friday, I'll start on Wednesday. Okay, that is not going to work. So I think, in fact, the reason I was very happy was that as soon as the announcement went out, like even a week ago, many of you started questing on the blue trail anyway. So and the fact that you're doing the green quest, all of that is going to count again in 2C. If whenever you come back to do my 2C, you'll get credit for that too. And then the reason for that again is that people always think that these are 3 separate courses, you can do them separately. No, it is just one course, right? It's one single course from A all the way to C, and it's just split into 3 parts. So you can't say I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do some easy section here and then come back for 2C. It never works. So you enter the train, you got to stay on the train until the stop. And so, yeah, so I think if you continue with this track, right, if you continue with this track, I will be more than happy to see you all the way through. And if you actually ace all of the red quests, okay, and you're really, really good, it doesn't have to be the spring, okay, with all of the code that is submitted. Yeah, I'll take a look. And I have a project in Unreal using VR development with Unreal and Oculus, maybe, I don't know, or Apple VR when it comes out. I'll sponsor it maybe, or fund it over a break, right? A summer internship or something like that for one of you guys, but you got to, it's not just like everybody, right? This is one project I have been thinking about recently. So, but you need to have completed all 9 quests, and then with a summer stipend, and it'll be really cool, and hardware to go with it would be fun to have. Okay, but try and get all of these done, and they all will count. Okay, even if they don't count for 2B, 2C, they will count in your life, right? Because think about it, right? Once you've implemented a try in C++, it doesn't matter. That's it, right? Because once you've done it once, 10 years later, some fancy language, maybe it's called I don't know, some Java 5 or something like that, okay? And I say, well, we need to try in Java 5, okay? You just be able to knock it out in a couple of hours, right? And it's like that. Whereas if you had to say, well, you know what, let me see what the implementation of some maybe Patricia try, right? I think that was it. In a previous job, a tries had to be implemented. And one of our engineers said, we'll download, that time it was all a Java universe I was in. And one of the engineers downloaded something called a Patricia try for autocomplete. I think it was called Patricia. This is really strange. Why would it be called a Patricia try, right? Because even if it was named after the first name, it's not very common in Western traditions to use the first name, right? So even for Johns Hopkins, right? Many people say it is John Hopkins, right? But it's not John Hopkins, because John is it's not first name. Johns is a second name, right? So it's a search name. 2 people, I think, Johns and then Hopkins, like that. Patricia, I don't know, maybe she was Patricia Gibbs, and it would be called the Gibbs tree, right? Gibbs try. I don't know. So anyway, so you should be able to you don't have to download, or you don't have to do a search. You don't have to look at Stack Overflow and think, well, you know what, 15 people have downloaded it. Let me see why did that, okay? Because you don't want to integrate software into your code that's going to be buggy. But having done C++ tries before, well, you know what, even if I download the code, it's maximum 200 lines of code, right? So I can write it tomorrow. So you say, all right, I don't want to download it, because writing those 200 lines myself from my C++ history knowledge is going to be easier than downloading it and checking all. And you got to understand the code anyway, right? If you download the code from someone, you're gonna, because what happens if they're going to just format your hard drive, right? So you're going to check to see if they're not doing any silly things like that. So those are the kind of things. I'm sorry to take up so much time. Again, so these are examples, right? You should just basically and not even raising your hand, right? So maybe I'm not looking at the screen, right? Maybe just looking at the floor. You should just speak up and say, hey, stop, right? That's fine. You can say stop, or you can just start speaking and I'll stop, right? And you can have a question.
Thanks, Professor.
Any other questions? Anything else that you want to talk about? Hey, Jason. Oh boy, yeah, Jason. Thank you for coming. Hey, Jason, you want to do a quick update if you want before you go? Jason has another class he has to get to, so I said, first 15 minutes you can talk. I'm so sorry I took up so much time. Jason, why don't you go take the screen if you want to do an update, and then you can go.
Okay, so I'm Jason Korn, as you can see by the background. I'm middle.
Yeah, I can't see your background. Hang on. Jason, well, maybe I should switch to.
It's a Korn background. So I'm a middle college student, which is what.
Oh, there you go. There you guys.
But so as for my progress, I've been just working through all the blue quests. I made the mistake of not starting at the beginning of the week, so I'm only on Crow right now. But,
we'll have time. We'll have time, right? Anyone who's putting work in, they'll get time.
So I'm just grinding through. I like, I'm not grinding, but like I'm just powering through them.
No worries, no worries.
It's a really different change of pace. So I actually took 2A with a different professor. So but yeah, this is a really interesting CS class.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Jace. Yeah. I used to teach the other way too before. Before this is experimental. Well, probably not anymore, but thanks. Lots of students seem to like this.
All right, I got it. Bye.
All right. See you next week. Who wants to go next? All right, so basically we want to go through all of them. Everybody, even if it's just 5 seconds saying, good, I'm glad to see you guys. I'm going to start working in earnest from now on, okay? I haven't started yet, but whatever. So just say, I'm glad to see you, that's fine too, right?
I I can go next. Hi, Professor Anand, and hi, everyone. It's great to see you all. Good to put a face to the names. So I actually finished my blue quest, and I finished my second green quest today. So I'll be looking forward to answering any questions or any help requests on Reddit. That's my to-do for this week, and also do some reading for the next upcoming quests. And I've been enjoying the assignments so far. They're extremely challenging, but also very rewarding. So it's fun. Thanks. That's my update.
Thanks, Mandar. Yeah, thanks. So you should basically just feel everybody, right? Everybody should just feel free to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Stevie. I've been working on the duck quest. And right now I'm just working on some logic issues. I'm done with all the syntax stuff, and that's about it. I'm just about to finalize and submit it.
Thank you, Stevie. Yeah, go on, guys. Next. Yeah, okay, because you want to get to the breakout rooms as soon as possible.
My name is Turki. I'm actually now at at quest number 7 because I just lost all my files from the last class. So hopefully I'm just gonna finish it today. So it's going through. It's not that hard.
I'm Beckett. It's good to see you all. I just finished up the blue quest, and I actually dropped this class last quarter because I tried jumping straight into the greens, but I've got blue 9 done. I'm ready to, kick some butt.
Awesome. All right. Yeah.
Oh, hey everyone. I'm Jason. I had some extenuating circumstances, so I'm a bit behind. I'm on quest. I think I just finished quest 4, so I'm on quest 5 now. On quest 4, I had an issue where I just completely misread the directions, and I had just an extra new line, and it sent me back like a couple hours because I also just didn't understand how the auto grader or auto tester showed where it was wrong until I just looked, and it solved it within 30 seconds.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Ann. I've been fighting COVID for the past week, so I just got finished with quest 2, struggling with quest 3. I think it's just like something with the auto grader. So yeah, fun.
Hi, this is Andrew. I was getting started in the green quests, and after kind of listening to everybody, I'm like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see if I could power through all the blue quests. It'd be a good brush up, especially going through, like really soaking in the duck quest. I was like, oh, I need to get some of the rust off here.
Hello, my name is Sammy. So the past week, I've been spending my time. I went through the course modules. I went through 1A, 1B, and then I'm pretty much done with 2A now. I started the blue quest. I'm on quest 4, and then I stopped. I was gonna go to the green quest today, but I'm probably gonna end up going back doing the blue quest before I move on.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate. I started 1 week ago with pretty much no experience with C++, just coming from Python, and so I wanted to get through all the blues. The first 5 were pretty simple. 6 got rough, but over time, got everything sorted out and made it through all the blue. Bit of headache on the first screen, but I think we can handle it.
Hey guys, I'm Joe. I took this class in summer, at least the first part. I got through the blue and green quests 1 and 2. So I recently got through green 3 and I'm on green 4 this week, but I'll be around on the subreddit to help out. I got really hung up on green 3 because I didn't understand the auto grader, but I will be around. So good luck, everyone.
Hi all, I'm Benjamin. I did 22A at the end, and this is my first CS class at Foothill. I'm on blue 2, and I think it's more so of an issue with the auto grader that I'm facing right now. So I'm very excited for the breakout rooms to try and find the issue with that.
Hi everyone. My name is Shinchi, and you can call me Joe as well. And I had taken cs1a from Professor Venkataraman before quarantines, and that's why I kind of feels familiar when I'm doing the Blue Quest. And I've just done all the Blue Quest, but I haven't started my Green Quest yet, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yo, hi everyone. My name is Gerald. This is my first time taking Professor Anand for 2B. I'm currently in the Blue Quest in the 7th one. So yeah, pretty hard, but I'll get through it.
Hello everyone, I'm Walter. I just finished all my Blue quests. I'm hoping to start Green Quest today, so don't have any problems yet, but I'm sure I'll run into some in the future.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, you can go.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, I'm also on Green Quest, or Blue Quest, sorry, Blue Quest number 7. Got a bit of a late start to the week, but just gonna finish probably the Blue Quest up today.
Hello, everybody. I'm Armand. Right now, my camera is actually acting up. It's not working, but I'm going to try to fix that tonight. I finished the Blue Quest on Saturday, and I haven't got a chance to go and start working on Green Quest 1 yet. But I had a different professor last quarter, so I spent the last week working on the Blue Quest to kind of bridge the gap between the two courses.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire. I'm happy to join this class, and and it's so sad that I got sick last week, but I'm lucky that I didn't get COVID. So I'm still working on the Blue Quest, and I hope it should be done today.
Hi everybody, my name is Bastian. I'm still working on the Blue Quest. I've had a little bit of a turbulent week 1, just like personal stuff going on. But yeah, so far it's been really fun, and I'm can't wait to see more.
Hey everyone.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for everyone else to go. But my name is Paul. I forget which quest I'm on. I think I'm on like quest 5 or 6 of Blue. So I've just been just grinding through those. I gotta devote more time to it though. If I could finish like today or tomorrow.
Hello everyone.
guys. Oh, my bad. You can go for it.
Okay, for sure, thanks. All right, my name is Andrew. I also got a pretty late start to the week, so I've just been getting like the first couple ones done, and hope to finish it by like tomorrow. So yeah.
All right. Hi guys, my name is Rambo, or you guys can call me Tony. I had a CS2A with Professor Nut before the pandemic. I'm currently working on the first Green Quest, and see you guys on Reddit. Good luck questing.
My name's Terrell. I'm currently working on the 4th Blue Quest right now. I'm almost done. I just gotta go back and reread the instructions to fix up 1 or 2 functions, and then should be moving on after that.
So I'm Sung, and I'm on Blue Quest 9, just trying to understand what my functions are doing. I'm kind of confused right now, but that's where I'm at.
I'm Timothy. I finished my Blue Quest last weekend, and yeah, I'm working on my first Green Quest, and yeah, good luck, guys.
Right. Is that it? That's
Hi, I'm George. I'm working
Madison
on Green 6. Hopefully, I'll be able to
Gerald,
get it done
Madison, Connor,
by Wednesday.
George, I think, right? I think everybody else, and Evelyn maybe.
I'm here.
Well, Gerald, yeah. Do you wanna go or?
I already did. I used.
Oh,
my
you
iPad,
already did. I'm
remember?
sorry, I missed that. Okay, so this basically Madison, Andrew, and Connor, and you know, you don't have to give an update every week, but you know, I think you should feel comfortable to update, right? So even if you haven't done anything, that's fine. You got to get into the practice of you're saying I haven't done anything, right? Because you should not feel uncomfortable saying I haven't done anything, and this is practice. Okay, go ahead. You know.
I'm Evelyn, and I'm currently still working on the Blue Quest, and I'm hoping to get it done by tomorrow.
I'm Madison. I did all of the Blue Quests, but I haven't started on the Green Quest yet.
I'm Brian. I'm on the Blue Quest still, just a slow start.
Great. I think that's all of us, right? All of us present today, I think. I can't see anyone who hasn't had a chance to update, right? If not, just let me know, right? So just speak up saying, hey, I didn't get a chance. Hey, thanks, Madison. Welcome back. So here's what I'd like. I think one person who's done all the quests should volunteer, because there are a lot of people who say, you know, there's issues with the autograder. I don't have any, the submission problems and things like this, and technical issues. If one of you can basically have in one breakout room, right, who knows how to do the submission process and the autograder issues, don't look at quest code, okay? I have to say, please don't spoil the fun, okay, for anyone. And if you know the code, or so you can say, this is what you do, you have to submit and look at the error, and that's where the error is. And so maybe there's a, you know, linked error, right? So you got to look at this function, right? Maybe, I don't know, something like that. But it's got to be sufficiently tantalizing and vague so that the other person will continue to their investigations and not just look for the answers from you. So if one person can volunteer and take, how do I set up can you set up the breakout rooms, or I have to set them up? Maybe I have to set them up. Okay, so I'm going to say, let me say how many breakout rooms. Let me say create 4 for now. Okay, I'm going to create 4. Assign. Oh well, let's say choose. Let participants choose room. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 rooms, and then we can create 1 more if needed. Okay. Does it let me name the room so that you can actually look at the name of the room and say who's? Oh yeah, cool. I can actually read. So let's say room 1 is to do with questing technical problems, technical help. Okay, so that's the first room. Let's say, what about the second one? Okay, so let's say that's the first one. Okay, rename. Why is it didn't? Oh, it did actually rename it. Why is it not letting me resize the? Okay, so people just should feel free to choose it. Another one maybe to do with blue quests. Okay, and then if necessary, you can break down the blue quests into, you know, first half, second half. Okay, maybe I'll do that. Okay, let's say room 2. Let me rename that to well, I shouldn't say blue quest 1, 2. So I should say help with code up to not including objects, not including classes, objects. Okay, now this should be rare, because, you know, if you don't know about classes and objects, you should not really be in 2B until you've completed quest 6 at least, right? But quest 6 is introducing blue quest 6. But if you don't know about objects and classes, you got to attend that second breakout room and talk to the person and try and find resources and basically apply yourself for the next 48 hours, right? Only time to, you know, eat, drink, poop, and pee. That's it. Okay, there's nothing else. So the next 48 hours, you got to dedicate yourself. Not everybody, right? Only the ones who have just got into 2B because they did an easy section somewhere, but they don't know yet what objects are and classes are and how to wield them properly. So go into that breakout room and find all the information you need to basically master that area really quickly. And hopefully within the next couple of days, because you can get to the quest also. Okay, room 3, let's say help with, let's see, help with objects, classes, and pointers. Okay, up to pointers. Okay, so they kind of map roughly into the first concept breakout room. The first one is technical, right? The first breakout room is technical. The second concept breakout room is going to be dedicated to the first half of 2A, which is all the way up to classes and objects, not including them. So that's essentially maps to blue quest 1 to 5, right? Just control structures, while loops, and, you know, for statements, if and then, and so on and so forth. Okay. The second breakout room is after you know about classes and you're starting to look at very basic data structures, right? Very basic data structures, vectors and lists. and stacks. Okay, so that is to do with the 6, 7, 8, 9, the last 4 quests. Okay, and let's say room 4, that should be to do with green level data structures. Well, let's just say green quest 1 and green quest 1 concepts and above. Okay, how about that? Okay, all right. So I've got these 4 rooms. Oh, I got to open these rooms. I realized that, I thought that. Okay, now how about this? And I have to assign them on. No, I don't have to assign manually. You guys should just feel free to pick a room of your own. Yes.
Yeah, we can join them.
Oh, great. Okay, so I got these 4 rooms. I hope Zoom lets me we have to change the names of these rooms every week, I think, because it'll be different, right? Because we're not going to be talking about blue quest every week. So next week we'll start talking about pointer manipulation and then recursion and things like that, hopefully, right? Also, any other concept ideas or topics you have, or even let's create not this week, starting next week. What we'll do is create a 5th breakout room. Remind me to do with random projects. Okay, and then we can create as many of those as possible, right? Any one of you who's done, who's up to date. Not anyone who's basically still fighting to get to the watermark of that week, right? Someone who's already done that week's responsibilities as far as the modules and quests go. They should just feel free to take one of those breakout rooms and say, I have an idea. I want to build a game that is based on a linked list, right? And then basically that person is going to lead that small team of 4 or 5 people who join that room, and that together they're going to build this in a shared environment, right? Those of you who've done my 2A know how to get the shared environment, right? I think there's a whole bunch of online G++ compilers, right? Raise your hand or speak up if you are not familiar with that. It's a whole bunch. You just go to Google or Bing and type in online C++ compiler, hit return, and then you get a whole bunch of hits, right? Just select one of them. I think we have used in the past, we've used REPL.it. I think I used to call it Replete, and some of the students call it REPL. Okay, so that is one. But I think last quarter, Hiram, who's not here today for some reason, he's in 2B, right? And he pointed out that they stopped being free. You got to log in, right? No, it's still free, but you got to log in with you got to create a username and log in, right? That didn't used to be the case before. But there's another site called cpp.sh, right? I'm sure there's a ton more sites like that, right? I'm just reading off 3 that I remember. cpp.sh, that lets you code in a window, compile and run the code in the same browser window, and share the link to that with someone else, right? So someone else can edit the same file. Unfortunately, right, when they start editing the file, they will not edit your file live. They're going to edit a copy of it, right? And when they save it, it goes into a separate copy, not, so you can't have 2 people editing the same file at the same time. REPL allows 2 people to edit at the same time, right? However, I think GNU, onlinegdb.com, that lets multiple people edit at the same time without requiring a login, right? So there's multiple sites like that. Just find one, and then all of you can get in the same file. And then maybe Mandar is editing this part, okay, and then George is editing this part, right? So you say, hey, when you've completed implementing the stack, I want to use it here, right? So let me know. So you can do all those fun things, right? Those are all experience, practice with experience. Practice with this is what you're going to be having to do anyway, right? When you become professional programmers, you're going to have to interact with other people many times. It's not going to be like so close that you're working on the same file at the same time. But this is a good way of getting into working on the same content at the same time, right? Because even when you're working with other people on the same project, on a big project, you will have to coordinate things in a way in which you don't have to do multiple merges, right? Because what if 2 people check out a file and they both make conflicting changes, right? And they got to be merged together. And that's a bit of a pain. So many engineers try to avoid that by basically coordinating amongst themselves, saying, well, if this has got to be done, let's and the manager usually, right? So they say, all right, these are the dependencies. So let's get these dependencies done separately, one at a time, not one after another, by 5 different teams, right? And when they're all done, so dependencies are in place, then you can do the next level. So that works out much easier, right? And so I think you can kind of practice that here. So yeah, when you're working on a model with multiple people, then you have to make sure that within that team you can say, well, you know what, I'll make sure that I'm not going to edit that file until you're done with it, right? And then so because if it's anarchistically done, like every person doing whatever they want, it's the project is not going anywhere, right? Because most of the time is just spent in correcting things. And so if it's coordinated and planned effort, then people will say, okay, well, it's an interesting project. You carve off that end, and I'll carve off this end, and together we'll get the whole thing done. So you can use this for practice for something like that. I think it'll be good. So starting from week 4, okay, starting from week 4, I will look forward to, and hopefully you should look forward to also of having extra breakout rooms in which students are getting together to work on interesting projects of their own, right? Involving trees or whatever it is, right? Play with it in your spare time. Maybe it grows into a multi-file project, right? So in that case, then in the breakout room, you can share your Xcode or Visual Studio window, right? And then you have to coordinate the changes verbally, right, with your teammates, or borrow code from them, using shared documents and integrate into. So one person coordinates to be the code manager. So all of those are going to be fun opportunities, right? Because those are things that I never get to in CS2A. Because in CS2A, many students are just getting used to the CS2A waters, the C++ waters, and working on these advanced projects is I don't say intimidating. For some people, they probably can do it, and they can do it in their sleep. But for others, it's not a question of intimidating. They can't even relate to it, right? Because they're trying to write hello world and master for loops and do while loops. And then, so they can't relate to the idea that you can actually do exactly something like this and deliver an incredible experience, right? Just, placed in different places doing different kinds of data manipulation. So yeah, I think that's what it is. So can you guys just pick one of those breakout rooms and head into the rooms? And anyone who wants to come out of the breakout room and call out to me, I'll just step into that breakout room, right, and take a look. And what time is it now? How about it's about 1 hour since the meeting started. So I think how about a half hour or 15 minutes, or however long you want to keep it going. Get into the breakout rooms with your friends, right? And you can even feel free to hop around, right? It's like I think so. I think it's possible, right? Because it's self-assigned. You should just be able to hop into a breakout room. Yeah, you can do that. Ben, did you try that? You went into one and then came out another? Hey, that's really cool. Yeah, so it is like one of those road shows, right? So you can go into many different booths. So that's really cool. I like that feature. Okay, let's try that. So do you disappear from here? I want to, because how do I tell if you are in a breakout room or still here? Oh, you do, because that list is getting smaller. Maybe hey, cool. Yeah, the list is actually getting smaller. Nice. 13 unassigned. Okay, so just pick a room, go, and even that's really cool. Hey, this is actually working. How's it going to be recorded? So that's a bit.
So I can't figure out how to get into a breakout room.
So Anne, I can't hear you.
I can't figure out how to get into a breakout room.
Hey, do you just click on it? I just set it up. I didn't know how to get into it. How are you getting into it?
It should be at the bottom of the screen. It says breakout rooms, and if you click on it, you see them, and it has a blue button that says join. If not, you might have to update Zoom. I know some people that haven't updated don't have that feature.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Let me come back to this then. Thank you.
I shouldn't say help with code here. I should say help with concepts. How do I rename it? Can I rename it?
Professor?
Yeah.
I have a question regarding how the participation works on the discussions. So we have to come and we have to do our check-in. Do we also need to stay for the part that's about to start? Or is that
I'm sorry, do we also have to do what?
Do we have to go to the breakout rooms, or is that part optional?
No, that's optional. Okay, so but it would be appreciated by your classmates for sure. Okay, especially if you are already ahead. Okay, if you're already ahead, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, because in the past I've had students who just go ahead and don't care about their classmates.
Yeah, I wanted to just clear that up because there might be some days I won't be able to stay for that part. I just want to make sure. Okay, thank you.
Don't worry. Andrew and Andrew's the only, Arman and Andrew are the only two people left.
Yeah, I have to go pick up my son from school. So
No worries, no worries. Okay, but you get the general idea, right?
Yeah, and I think this is great, and I really appreciate you taking the time to set up these breakout rooms and make them very like topics driven.
Yeah. If it
Because
works, let me know. Let me know if it works. I also check the recording because check the recording and tell me if it actually works for all of you guys, because we'll just make it routine, right? And
Yeah,
in fact, if it's not going to take up a lot of my time, I can set it up anytime you guys want, right? I can do like a 24-hour breakout room in cs2b. You guys can just come in anytime you want. It won't work, right? Because different people will come in at different times.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you so much.
No worries, no worries. All right, see you later, Andrew.
Have a good day.
You too. Hey, George and Gerald. Gerald, you're
Hi.
going to take off, right? You're going to take off.
I'm actually in a group right now using my laptop. This is just an iPad. I just want to tell you that I'm using this just as a webcam. And Gerald,
you're using the iPad as a webcam, and your actual interaction is on your
yeah.
laptop.
You see an account named Gerald Second. That's actually me as well.
Oh,
that's what
I
I've been.
see.
That's what I've been saying the whole time.
But now it's gone. That you logged out of your laptop now.
No. I'm actually in the breakout rooms using my laptop.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So that's why. All right. Cool,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. All right.
My classmates and I is actually kind of confused with like the readings. Is your readings in like the bottom of the modules? Week 1, week 2A, or no, week 1A?
Yeah. So as far as readings go, so those are Michael Losef. He was a past prof at Foothill, and he went through that Savage textbook and picked out a bunch of topics, which he fine-tuned after many years to say this is the best set of topics to teach in each week.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay, so that is that list.
So for like the quests on 2B, which is green, right? So every week you're supposed to, or you're recommended to do at least one quest per week, right?
At least one, because you can't get points for that after that.
Okay, so how many quests are there in green?
Every course has 9 quests. Right?
Oh, okay.
9, blue
All
9,
right.
green 9, and red 9.
Gotcha. So 1 per week, that will add up to 9 weeks. All right.
And also let your friends know that it's the reason not to skip a quest and go on to the next one. Just say, I haven't done it, I'm going to get the password and move on. Is actually useless, because when they go on to the next quest, they're going to have to do the work for the previous quest anyway.
Gotcha.
Because each quest builds on the previous one.
I told them that because like I saw the e-talks thing, right? Like you're actually also using an example from the last quest.
Yeah. So that will happen a lot in blue and green and red. Yes.
Especially for me, like the quest is pretty hard. I don't know. It's like it takes quite a long time, good amount of research at least.
No, it's just getting used to it. It's most of the time. You see, So I think that's what I told my daughter a long time ago. We always tend to confuse, because this is an issue that plagued me before. When I enter a new field, I always used to conflate the effort of just getting to know the field with the difficulty of the material.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I would always say, oh, this is going to be really difficult for me to learn. But only after many years of life, I learned that many times, many things are easy to learn. It's just, the learning the superficial, how to get into it. Right. And then we think that is what it is. No, that's not what it is. This is what it is. And that's easy.
Yeah. They're also like asking like for midterms and exams, they're asking for like what it's going to be like. Is it gonna be like, so my old professor, what he did was it was multiple choice, and
it'll be like that. Midterm exams, even if I have quizzes, they'll all be canvas like a regular.
So it's more generalized, right? Rather than doing hard on code and using a lot of your brain and memory and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can be fine with all of that, and exams and quizzes, midterm and final, right? They both do with concepts, and the exact same concepts will be tested in practice in your quest.
Okay, so quest is actually the most important part because it's the hard on coding. Well,
no, both. Yeah, you got to know the concepts, otherwise you won't succeed in quest, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then exams and midterms and quizzes are just prior general knowledge on it, and then the
Yeah.
questions are your hands-on coding.
To make sure, basically, the quests are to help you convince yourself that you have learned enough to be employable, right? Right? Because otherwise, you can just do the exams and you can get a pass, but you won't be employable. Nobody will hire you, right? If you just get a pass. But if you actually ace the quests, not only will people be able to hire you, you'll be a very sought after employee, right? Many people will fight over you. So that's why it's important to get to know each thing, how it actually works in practice, right? So having to play with it in real life, right? It's like, if you're going to be a doctor, you got to, operate at some point.
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna try to do so yeah, I'll try. So including this week, we're supposed to do one green quest, right?
No, this is week 2, right?
Yeah, week 2.
Yeah. You got to complete green 1.
At least one.
At least one, yeah. But if you finish blue 9, green 1 is going to be a breeze.
All right.
You can do it in your sleep.
I'm gonna do blue quest today. I'll try to complete all, and then tomorrow I'll do the first green quest, and then I'm good for the whole week, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, I'm going to be around, right? Because I don't know, people are in the breakout room. What I will do is I'll just switch off my camera, turn the laptop on maybe, or something like that. I'll be here. If I hear voices, someone coming into here, just call out to me, right? And let people know too, right? Because I'm going to be around, and if they call out to me, I'll just come back and switch off the, mute and participate. Okay.
All right. See ya. Thank you.
See you later. All right. Bye.
Excuse me, Professor.
Hey, yeah, who is this?
Armand, sorry, my camera is acting up right now. Sometimes it chooses not to work.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, what's up?
So actually, you were talking about, you were wondering if the breakout rooms record. I actually don't think they do, because when
Yeah.
I was just in a breakout room and the recording dot with it saying recording in the top left of the screen was not there. And it announced when I came back to the main room that it said that I was recording again.
I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you for letting me know that. And I think, I found another issue. I can't enter these breakout rooms, right? I can just set them up, and then it's okay. I don't want to say no more breakout rooms, but unless we find a better solution, I think this is the best one we have.
Yeah,
So
I think it was nice to find students with similar issues too. It was really
that's
helpful.
great. That's great. Yeah. The only thing is I'm not able to partake in any of that.
Are you sure? Because I remember one of my previous teachers was able to override
Yeah?
and join a new room.
How do I do that? How do I get into a breakout room? So if I click on breakout rooms, and I have
think
these
it
guys.
could possibly be because you're recording. It needs somebody to be in the main room.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, all right. So, yeah. Basically, I just need to log in using my iPad or something.
Yeah, that should work.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to figure out how to log into my because SSO on iPad was playing up. Thank you, Armand. Thank you
Yeah.
for letting me know that this thing is like that.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you for class today, but I need to actually step out.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for attending, and I'll see you next week, and keep blowing ahead.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
think we are done in our breakout room. We were helping people with classes. So we're gonna head out. Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. All right. Okay, great. Thank you. So all done, right? So
Yeah, yeah. I helped 2 people with some things. They just had simple problems, so they're gonna move on. And so I think I'm gonna head out for the day.
That's great. Thanks. And I've got to figure out some way of joining these meetings, right? I'm not, because someone has to remain here, or the organizer has to remain here apparently. So I've got to get another account and come into the meetings.
Okay, perfect.
So see you guys next week. Thank you. And yeah, speak up in the forums.
Perfect. Take care.